Check, check. Yeah. I think we have 1 more minute and we will start. Yep. Okay. I think you can start. I hope that everyone else will come to us. I want to start with introducing myself. My name is Alexey Korotkih. I'm Environment Department Lead in Entangled Studio, and also I'm responsible for part of a tech art team. And today, we will talk about some ready code dev solutions that we did with our tech art team. I want to start with a couple of words about our studio. Our studio was founded by wonderful people who have been working in the industry for many years, and our headquarters are located in year one, and now our team numbers more than 250 people here and globally. As an outsourced studio, we are providing top quality game development services and collaborate with with partners such as Blizzard, Activision, Fanshark, Crytek, and other great studios. In our portfolio, there are many projects like Call of Duty, Hunt, Warhammer, Diablo, and more and other projects. And also, we provide a different stack of services starting from concept art to quality assurance. But today, we will talk more about technical art. If we talk about technical art, actually, there are a lot of difference meaning for this word, let's say. And sometimes technical art helps to optimize some assets. Sometimes they help in with prototyping. Sometimes they make some tools. But today we will focus on part of team who is responsible for supporting art team of artists. So mission for this part of team is ensuring the art team's resilience while scaling up and meeting the unique requirements of the project. But let's translate it a bit to more understandable technical language. First of all, we all know that in our game dev industry, most people is artists. Yeah, and for sure we want to make better games, we want to make better quality, and it's kind of complicated when we have a lot of routine work that will affect our creativity, will affect our, I don't know, our power. And that's why our first goal for this team is to minimize some routine tasks and possible mistakes that artists can make. So more art for artists. And second goal, also, it's more about more for outsourced studios where we have a lot of projects, a lot of teams, and in different period of time we need to have more artists on the same project, or sometimes we need to switch it, or we need to focus on another project. That's why we need to be flexible. And all these processes affected with risks, and also part of our goal is minimizing these risks. Yeah, with our team for the last 1.5 years, we made 20 tools that helps us to optimize our processes. And let's start from the beginning, actually. Because when we're talking about game dev and pipelines there, we all understand that we can, so different projects, different studios have different pipelines, different requirements. And it's impossible to make something universal for everyone. That's why we started to think what areas can be optimized, where we can make some solutions that will be useful for our site or for partners, and it will help us to concentrate more on art part and less on some technical issues. For example, we can say about some shared access for tools on the project. We can talk also about some feedback system, file sharing, and etc., etc. And also, when we're talking about some tools that should be used on projects, we need to remember that we have requirements. Some requirements actually are pretty obvious, like security. Yeah, we all know that in game dev, we have a lot of protected information that should be saved, and we don't want to lose anything. Also, we need to think about some general stuff like modularity of our tools. But when we also started to discuss what we want from these solutions on our side, we also mentioned a few requirements that kind of specific. Yeah. For example, synchronization. For us, it means that if something will be changed on the project or in pipeline, it should be updated on each computer, for each artist, for each employee in studio in a minute, let's say it this way. Or also, if we're talking about some tools that will be used by artists or managers, it also should be easy for setup or use. Again, because we need to know different software, and if we will put something new to artists and say, let's learn this way, let's spend a week for it, it will be not so good, because yeah, they will delay it for a while, and it means that we will lose some time for onboarding. That's why it should be easy for use, and you can see another requirements that can be useful also. And with these requirements, we started to search what we can use, what solutions do we have, some ready solutions that we have in our industry or somewhere. And here we faced two main problems. First one, that most solutions that we have are difficult to adapt for game dev or to the game dev industry. Yeah, because we have kind of specific processes, kind of specific requirements and problems, and it's not so simple. And second one, for sure, it's pretty expensive. And sometimes it's not even better to use it because it don't optimize anything. That's why we decided to choose another path. We just thought about, okay, we have team of T-Card, they are great, let's try to do something on our side. And let's go to the exact tools. I will not mention about any tools that we have. Yeah, as I said before, we have a lot of tools, but today we will concentrate on most interesting, I hope for you, that can be used also in your studios or in your pipelines. And we will start with extensions library. Extensions library. What is it? So extensions library actually was the first tool that we created in this in our infrastructure toolkit tool set infrastructure. And in the beginning there was a problem. I think you faced it in your studios maybe, when we have a lot of users. Each user has their own scripts, their own, I don't know, some tools that can optimize some work, and they just upload it to disk storage on studio server without any rules, without any naming convention, and as a result we have on the picture. It's absolute house that will grow over time, and even if we will clean everything in a week, it will be again like in some mess. That's why we decided, okay, we don't want to work in this way anymore. That's why we made some requirements for tools that we want to have. First of all, we want to have visual presentation of available scripts and tools. It means that, yeah, each person in studio, even a new one, can go to somewhere and see what we have and how he or she can optimize pipeline. Second one, for sure, we need to have some search functionality and filtering it. That's pretty simple. Third one, it's pretty important because, as I said before, if it will complicate it, nobody will use it. So we want to install all these scripts easily. Also, we want to have possibility to update our library as fast as we can. And there's the last one, pretty good bonus. We want to have also statistic, what scripts are used, so how many times it was used and something like that, that can help to manage what is more efficient. And how it works now. Actually not so complicated. For sure, I'm not talking about some code part of it. I'm talking about the IDEA pipelines for users. We have a database, simple database with a lot of metadata about scripts, about authors, about some licenses and other stuff. And we have application with user interface that has possibility to work with this database. And in this application, we can see all our library. We can filter it. We can search some new stuff. We can open documentation for each script or tool. And as I said before, we have possibility to install it right from this window just by one button. So you see something, you can install it easily, or a team lead can also say, just install it and use it. It will help you to optimize your work and don't lose a lot of time for that. And yeah, if you click it, it will be installed directly to the software that you're using. That's how it works for users. But also there is a part for tech art team. And it's also important, yeah, because if some artist just asks to, oh, I have some issue with the script, can you update it with fixes? And yeah, for example, we fix the script and it can be easily updated in the database with any application that you prefer. But most important part there is that you will be notified by this application, and you will see this like update button. Just click it and it will be updated. So no any other actions. And as a result, now we have tool that is available for each person in our studio, or even sometimes we share it with our partners, and we have filters for some exact project, and then they also can update something on their site and don't text us like, guys, you need to update everything just to be on the same page. No, you will see it, and because we have some statistics here, you also can see who already updated it or not, and you don't need to ask everyone in Huge Studio about it. Yeah. Let's go next. Second tool that I want to mention is resource library, and actually there is a same problem with this one because again, we can see we have in Studio a lot of resources that can be made by users, like textures, brushes, materials, everything else. And if they will put it to the server without any rules, without any naming convention, it will be a mess again. And but we want to have some interface where you can see what we have, how you can use it, and something like that. In this way, we also prepared some requirements that are pretty the same pretty the same visual representation, search and filter capabilities, but most important part here is ability for all users to add new resources. because in previous situation we saw only how TechArt can update it. But here, because it's resources, they can be made by artists. And as fast artists can share it with some team members or with partners or with someone, then more resources we will save because this resource already fixed some issue. Yeah. And again, how it works. The same way, we have database, we have interface where we can search, we can install or download something, we can see what we have. But yeah, most important part here is edit mode, where we can add something new. So user can actually open this window, and as you see on the slide, there is a graphic interface, no code stuff or something like that. You can upload previews, files, you can set category tags for easier searching and everything, and just click button save, and at the same time it will be represented for all users, for all artists in the same studio. And again, you can share it with internal team, you can share it with partners, you can set tags for projects, and if something will be updated, you will see it. Yeah. Third tool actually, I think one of the most complicated and complex one that we have for now. It's internally we call it Squid Validator. Yeah, and if you're talking about validators, it's not some invention. Yeah, most big studios or projects have their own validator. So validator actually it's a program that helps you to automatically find some typical errors or issues, and gives you a list so that something wrong with your asset. But again, we don't want to find some simple solution. We want to find best solutions. That's why we decided that yeah, this workflow, how it works in general, but we decided that we have to build our own solution because we are a outsourced studio, and we are working a lot with different projects, with different pipelines. And I remember when we started to work with some projects, we made some, I can't say even validator, it was some scripts that help us to find some issues. But then we started to work with second project, and after that, we started to recreate these scripts to feed the new pipeline. And on the third project, we decided, okay, it's not how it should work. Let's try to find some solutions that give us possibility to make it more flexible, to adapt it for different projects, for different pipelines. Yeah, and that's why we when we thought about functionality, we decided that we want to have some regular functions, yeah, like one button checks, where you just can set click a button and get a list of errors. Also, we want to have possibility to add some new checks for assets or for project. We want to have export, but two most important part here is first one, we want to fix some typical issues automatically when it's possible. Just don't waste our time to fix that. And second one, we also want to synchronize every changes in our validator. It's also important because if you will change something in your pipeline and it will be not spread to all the person, you will still have these issues. But when we're talking about team of 100 people, for example, it's just a huge amount of errors and issues. Yeah. If we're talking about architecture of this validator, I will not tell about every model here. I will tell you about some most important one. If you want, we will discuss it later, but let's start with most important. First one is checks. So checks, actually it's class where we keep functionality of rules that we applied for asset. And here we can have some attributes that will be set by users. And also here we keep some functionality for after fixing it. And as you can see on the slide, we can select a list of errors that will be applied to asset. And yeah, second model is entity template. By entity, we mean everything that can be in your asset. It can be render mesh, it can be proxy mesh, it can be collision, group, or something like that. Doesn't matter. And here we have some rules, and when we set it, we can automatically identify what type of entity we have here. So you don't need to select manually each object in your scene and set that this is load, this is collision. No, it will be automatically identified. And third model is a model that combines everything together, is preset editor, and here we can select our entities and what checks should be applied to it. And also for different projects you can set different entities, different checks for different stages also you can do it. You can set different hierarchies and everything else that absolutely flexible for most part of pipelines in our industry actually. Yeah, also you can add new checks if you needed, some specific checks if also needed. And as a result, we have possibility to just select everything that we will automatically identify it, click validate and get a list of errors or some past stuff and fix it automatically when it's possible and manually when it's needed. But still, imagine if we have a building with hundreds of models, it's impossible to work with each asset and recheck it every time. That's why, for example, we try to calculate some statistic here. It's simple statistic, yeah, that we have because, as I said before, we have statistic model for each tool, and it's simple JSON. It can be represented by any interface that you want. And here you can see that we, for some period of time, I don't remember exactly, that we find 10,000 errors. And imagine if everything will be find it manually, it's impossible. Yeah, and with this calculation, we made some average, we tried to find, yeah, some average numbers, how much we saved in a month, for example. Yeah, and with this amount of team members, we can save, so for example, 20 days. Yeah, for sure, it depends of pipelines, of team size, and etc. But still, we can see how it helps to keep resources. Yeah, actually, there is a lot of tools that can be also discussed, but I want to finish with one last. It's pretty simple tool, feedback tool. There is nothing special here because it's a form where you can type some text, where you can make some idea, type some text, some ideas. But most important part here is that is connected with all our databases. You don't need to select everything manually. Everything will be selected automatically. Also, all your requests will be you will see it in real time, and TechR team will just get it and fix it when it's possible, or make a new tool for your requests. And actually, it helps us for. So it helps us every day just because it's transparent for everyone. Yeah. So I want to finish with some conclusions. Yeah, because as I said before, we try to use these tools not only internally, we also use it with our partners, because we all understand that game development is complicated industry, and we want to make some best game experience for players, but sometimes we don't have, because we have all these technical issues. But with these tools, we save huge amount of time, so partners don't need to waste time like saying us, oh, we find this mistake again, just fix it. No, all this stuff can be found automatically, and we on our side and partners in their side can concentrate on more important stuff like quality, like gameplay, and some development, and other development issues. So that's it. Thank you for your attention, and if you have questions, I will be happy to answer. No questions?
Which program with soft can check like Blender, Maya, Max?
If you're talking about, you mean first tool, yeah? Yeah, right now it works with all like main software like Maya, Blender, 3D Studio Max, ZBrush, yeah, ZBrush. And but again, because it's our internal tool, it's not too complicated to add something new. For example, Substance Painter, if it's needed, or Substance Designer, or everything else. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep, yep.
So I wanted to know what people, professionals work on such kind of tools, and which kind of knowledge is needed in your team to create such.
Yeah, so in our studio, tech art team was responsible for all these tools, but this tech art team is more, so they know about free pipelines for free artists, yeah, for sure, but also they know a pretty big amount of, so they have knowledge of programming, yeah, how to build architecture for applications, how to make some bridges between programs, for example. What else? They also responsible for scripts. For example, they need to know Python. They need to know C++. So yeah, it's more kind of programmers, but with graphic specific stuff. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Maybe a couple more words about how you handle animations. Thank you.
Yeah, so talking about animations, if we're talking about, let's try to go through each tool. For animations, actually, if you're talking about validator, as I said before, we can set some checks for animation. For example, yeah, we can, I don't know what it can be. For example, if we need to have some amount of case like in limits, yeah, and we can set, okay, if we will see that we will achieve some limit of keyframes, we need to say to user that, yeah, we have error or some issues here. Also, what it can be with some rigging or naming in rigging, for example. Also, if we will name it something wrongly, we can also say that I can identify what it is. It means that there is something wrong with naming, if we're talking about this kind of tool. If you're talking about resource library, as I can imagine that we also can add here some typical animations, for example. Yeah, like we have some walk or run animation that we can use everywhere. And for example, for another iteration, or for new team members, they can just go here and see that, oh, we have already some good animation. I can check how it was done. And in this way, they will see how it was made and find it with this solution. If we're talking about extensions library, again, any scripts, any tools that is applicable for some software can be added here. I don't know, also After Weeks, for example, you made After Weeks, you can not send it just from computer to computer, you can add it here and it will be installed by one button on each computer. So yeah. Yeah, I guess no questions anymore? No, okay.
Is validator available for Maya and Max?
I can say a bit more words about validator, yeah, because it's more technical stuff, but still, we have three parts of validator, like a core, where we have all classes with some abstract logic, yeah, and this core can be used in any software, just because it's just a code.
It's like a standalone tool, or it's a plugin or add-on?
It's a bit in the information, but let's say, so it can be a script and it can be as application. Yeah, and yeah, so as application it can be applied. So yeah, there is a core, there's interface model, and there is a functional model that is applied to each software because each software has different functionality.
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you one more time for your attention and have a nice evening. Goodbye.